Hello fellow Sudokans, welcome to Zen and the Art of the Guardian Sudoku puzzle. It's Monday the 24th of June 2024. Lots of 2s and 4s in there. And I hope you are keeping well and about to take on the week, the challenge of the week, whatever the challenge is we have to face. Let's take them on together and be brave. The first challenge will be playing our a game of Sudoku, and this might be because you've never played the game before. If you haven't, don't worry, I'll be explaining how to play it in basic terms, because Monday is always easy level day in the Guardian, and that means very basic game. I'll explain the rules and tell you how to find the numbers, so stay with me for just a moment while I also mention something that's in the news or newspapers, or just something that's on my mind. We're always constantly hearing about the negative aspects of immigration. You know, there's people trying to dehumanize immigrants all the time, and it always seems like such a stress on local communities. You know, as a bit of an antidote to that, there's a lovely article in, I think it's in yesterday's Observer, but I just saw it on the Guardian website today because they are combined. Describing a small village in Essex in the UK, a primary school that has taken on around 12% of pupils coming from just a huge variety of different countries. But it talks about the positive ways in which the school has changed, you know, from having to think about things, of course, needing to teach English as a second language, that's quite an important thing, but also learning from the students themselves, and students learning from other students, kids teaching each other, you know, how to speak basics of their own languages, and you know, having days where people arrive in national costume and things like that, you know, really enriching society. This is an important thing to remember. You know, society is enriched by taking on and learning about other cultures. I think there's something that's often overlooked and disregarded, or if it is seen, it's disregarded and seen as a minor thing. I think it's quite a major thing, really, quite important. Okay, that's my little piece for today. Shall we get on and play the game of Sudoku now? If you've never seen the game of Sudoku before, a very brief introduction, because it doesn't need much explanation. You'll see there are 9 squares in every row across, there are 9 squares in every column down, and there are 9 squares in each of these blocks that are outlined in black lines like this. So again, 9 squares here. Now, what's the object of the game? You can probably guess the object because you can see some numbers already placed in the squares, and you might have noticed already that the lowest number is 1 and the highest number is 9. That's not a coincidence, because as I mentioned, there are 9 squares in every row, every column, and every block. And so all we do is fill in the numbers 1 to 9. Now, because there are only 9 squares, it means that each number can appear once only. So let's see, in this block in the middle here, which has 4 empty squares, you can see 2, 3, 6, 7 and 9 are already filled in, and we have 4 empty squares left in which to put the other numbers. Now, in this top row we have a digit 1 already, so because there are only 8 squares left, 7 squares actually, because we've got 7 squares left in this particular row, we cannot have another digit 1. So it means that numbers appear once only in their row, column or block. So can a 1 be in this square here, you ask? And you should be saying to yourself, no, because of this one here. What about this square? No, because of the same one. And this square? No. And these squares already have digits filled in, so there's only one possible place where the 1 can go. It's got to go there, hasn't it? Let's continue along into this section here. Now we've got 2, 4 and 5 already filled in, and we're going to continue with our digit 1. Now we've just placed this 1 here, so now we've got fewer digits to worry about, or rather we've made some restrictions for ourselves. So 1 blocks these 3 squares here, this one blocks these 3 squares, and this one up here blocks all the way across there like that. And so again we're left with just one option where the 1 can go, and it must go there. I hope you understood that. That's the real basis for being able to solve the game. If it was difficult, just watch it again because you need to understand that just to be able to get the basics, I think. Right. And so, for example, I don't know if this is going to lead to anything, but we do know that there are only 3 numbers to go here. We've got 1, 2, 3. We don't have 4. We don't have 5. And we don't have 8. So we know that these squares here comprise 4, 5, and 8. Okay, so we know that. Can we get any of these? And the answer is no, but we do know that a 5 is either here or here. We've got 5 blocking up there, right? So 5 is going to be either this square or this square. Now, if a 5 is here, it's going to block across there, and if a 5 is there, it's still going to block across there like that. 5 blocks across here like this, 5 blocks up and up there. When I say blocks, I means forbid. I means. I'm speaking very strange kind of English now. Should learn it from some refugees, maybe. 5. That means I've lost my thread. What was, I don't know what I was going to say. I've gone. Anyway, never mind. Forget about that. 5. Oh yes, I know what I'm saying. When I say blocks, I mean it forbids any other 5 from appearing. 5 forbids 5 from appearing in those 3 squares there. 5 forbids any of these blue squares from being 5. 5 blocking down here says that that will be a 5 there, like so. So basically we have to look around, just look around the grid, look around and try and find stuff like that. I see 7 blocking up here and 7 blocking up here, which is going to put a 7 into that square there. Okay, we have 4 blocking across here and 4 blocking down here like this. I'm just kind of looking at each digit and trying to see, you know, across the rows and columns and within the block, what it could lead to. That's what I'm doing basically. That's how I'm finding these. I'm just looking, just using a bit of intuition at times, but just looking at a digit and seeing the possible places where it can go. And if we get a bit stuck, that's okay. What we can do is we can try clicking on, if you're playing on a computer like this, you can try clicking on the digits one by one, and then it will help you to kind of visualize where things are going, save a bit of time sometimes. So I've clicked on the 3, and that's enabled me to see that 3s will block down here like this and give me a 3 in that square there. If you're wondering why it's taking me so long, it's because I don't play these games ahead of time. I don't practice or work anything out ahead. I just start the camera and start playing immediately without considering anything ahead of time. Now we've got 9 blocking up here like this, so I'm always playing these games live at whatever level. Okay, if you watch any level game on this channel, you'll find me playing the game live, meaning unedited. 9's blocking like this. So you can see all of the surrounding 9s are going to help us to find a 9 there. We also have 9 blocking up here, 9 blocking up there, 9 across there. That will give us a 9 there. Now, there are various techniques that we can use, but often, you know, as I say, looking in empty squares like this for missing digits, if we are restricted, can sometimes help. I don't think I looked here before, didn't I? And I discovered it was 4, 5, and 8, and that doesn't really help us at the moment. Oh yes, it does. Okay, so we've got an 8 somewhere in this block, in this row here. Okay, and whichever square it appears in, 8 is going to block across there. Now 8 also blocks up there, and so we know that the 8 will be in that square there. Now we've got 3 and 6. This time we're going to look at two numbers. We're going to look at 3 and 6. And when we look at what's remaining in this particular block up here, we'll see that the missing numbers are 3, 6 and 9. Now when we see the 3 and the 6 blocking this square, we realise it can't be 3, can't be 6. So we know that it must be 9. Now you could have just said 9 blocks across there. That'll give us a 9 there. So this would probably give you a bit of intuition to say, hey, there's more than one way to find a number. And yes, this is very important. There certainly usually is more than one way to find a number, or often is, I should say. 9's blocked like this. So you can find these numbers in different ways, but the point is you have to use logic to do it. You mustn't guess. The whole point of the game is not to guess the numbers. You must use logic. Otherwise there's no fun in the game whatsoever. So we can work out this digit here. I know that I can find this digit here, even though I have no idea what it is at the moment. And how do I know that? Well, because we have only 2 numbers missing from this row, and I can find out what the numbers are. I'm not sure I can place them, but I can find out what they are. And we have only 3 numbers missing from this row, so I can, again, might not be able to place the numbers, but I can find out what they are. And that will only leave one empty square to know what the answer is. So let's see. In this row here, we don't yet have 2, and we don't yet have 4. Now that means we do have a blocking 4 here, so we know that the 4 is going to be there and the 2 is going to be there. Now in this row here, what's left? We've got 1, 2, we don't have 3, we've got 4, 5, we don't have 6, and we don't have 8. So this row here must contain 3, 6 and 8. 3, 6 and 8, and can't say which is which. But then this is the other number. So we've got 1, 2, 3, somewhere there, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9. So this has to be 7. Now you could also again see that by seeing the 7 block across there. You'll find that that's a 7 there. 7 blocks down here, down there, across here, and across there. And there's a 7. Again, if any of this is too fast, go back, watch it again. You'll help me out by watching it again as well. Give me a few more views on YouTube. Don't forget to subscribe, please. You know, YouTubers are always begging for subscriptions because most people don't bother to subscribe to channels, even though it's free. But it really does help the person promote their channel at least a little bit. And this is a very small channel, tiny channel. But it would be nice if it got a bit bigger. Okay, now there are 3 empty squares in this column. Let's see what we've got. We've got 1, 3, 4, 6, 7, 9. So what's missing? What is missing is 2, 5 and 8. And that's what we know go in these empty squares here. Now we've got 2 and 5 in the same row here. So we know that this can't be 2, can't be 5, it must be 8. Now in fact we've got the 2 blocking this square here, so now we know that the 2 is there, and that's going to allow us to say this is 5, our last number there. Now we've got 5 blocking up here, and 5 must go in that square there. Now what I didn't say so far is that some digits have already been finished. 5 now joins the collection along with 7 and 9. If you check, you'll see every block, every row, every column already has a 5, a 7 and a 9, so there are no more 5s, 7s or 9s to find. So, you know, we're limiting ourselves a bit. That's good. That's a good thing. You know, we are reducing the number of numbers we have to look for, number of digits we have to look for. Okay, I can see a 2 blocking across here and a 2 down there, which will give us 2 in that square. Then the 2's block down here like this, and say that that will be a 2 here. We also have 2 blocking all the way down there, and so we know 2 is there. And then we have 2, oh, we didn't need that, 2 down here, 2 down here, 2 across there, and that's the final digit 2. So 2, like 5 and 7, is now complete everywhere on the board. And you can see we have fewer and fewer numbers to fill in. Now we can get this digit up here, can't we? Because we can work out these 3 numbers, and then we'll only have 1 number left to go for this column. So missing from here is 1, 4, 6. Now we can get one of those numbers. 1 and 6 is here, so this can't be 1, can't be 6, it must be 4. and that will leave us with 1 and 6 in these squares. Now I don't know which is which at the moment, but that doesn't matter. We know that this can't be 1 or 6. It must be the other number. So we don't need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is there, 7. It's an 8 because we've got 9 down here, so this has to be an 8. And the last number here is a 4. Right, so let's just have a quick click through and see if we've got anything useful that we can see very quickly. Yes, we've got 3 blocking this square here. There's only one other square left. We know that 3 is there. We've also got 3 blocking across here and across there, which will give us a 3 in that square. Or you could have just said that's the only empty square in this row. Now if you look up here, you'll see there's 1 empty square in this column. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9 got already. That has to be an 8. We still need an 8 to complete this block. Everything else is done except for the 8, so we'll put the 8 there. Again, let's click through the digits and see if there's anything useful that we can get immediately without too much hard work. 3, 4. Yep, we've got 4 blocking down here and 4 across there, so that will give us 4 in that square. 4 blocking up here and 4 across there says that's the final digit 4. No more 4s to get. How are we doing on 6? Okay, and 8. Alright, back to 1. So 1 blocks down here now. That will give us a 1 in this square. 1 blocks across here. There's a digit 1. Now there's only one number for this row, this column, or this block. It's got the same number, of course. It's going to be a 6. We still need a 6 here. 6 blocks up there gives us the 6 there. And now there's only one number left to get here, and that is a 3. 3 also blocks down there, giving us a 3 in that square. 3 across here and across here puts the 3 into that square. 3 blocking up there. You see how I'm using the number that I just found to help find the next version, the next iteration of that digit. The missing number here is a 6. 6 blocks down here, that gives me the 6 in that square. 6 across here and across there says that's a 6. The last number to place here is an 8. 8 blocks across here and gives me the 8 in that square. 8 blocks across there giving me the 8 there. And now the last number in this column or this block is 1, and the last number for the whole grid is also 1, and that's our game finished. So if any of that was tricky, you can just go back and watch it. There are a whole load of easy level games on this channel. I'll put up the playlist for you to click on and go through and practice trying yourself. Okay, thank you. Bye bye.